Hey everybody, welcome. It's Max from Foot and Soul Temple Spa and Reiki Master 13. I'm coming to you today on Saturday, September 18th, and with the intention of doing a reading for this upcoming week. I'm beginning Sunday, September 19th, running all the way to the end. So I felt called to do something with animals, going back to my animal motif, and give some direction with the Dragon Path card as well. So first thing I'm going to be doing is I'll be taking a card from a Druid Animal Oracle card deck, and then I will move over to a Power Animal Oracle card deck, and finally a Dragon Path card. Okay, I'll be using this pocket guide for spirit animals to expand on the animal interpretation, and obviously it's Max, so an angel numbers in the cards as well. So let's go without further ado. I'm going to key myself to this deck. So I don't know if anyone's ever seen someone attune a deck to themselves. So here we go. Do this really quickly. So I'm just attuning myself to the deck, my energy, and I will be pulling a card, reading the explanation. Okay, so I'm asking my angels and guides to protect the reading, to give the best possible interpretations for those that are called to see it. A little bit more shuffling. All right. So this is in Celtic Druid tradition, this deck, and look what I picked up. The dragon. The earth dragon, to be specific. So the earth dragon dwells in a cave. He's got his gold around him, and he's hiding, laying wait for something. Let's just go right to the interpretation from the book, because again, I'm not very familiar with this one, and it seems like this is quite a bit of reading here. Earth Dragon. Gratalma. Power, potential, riches. This card shows a coiled dragon guarding a hoard of treasure in its cave. An old inhabitant of the Welsh village, Penally, who died at the turn of the century, insisted that his uncle had killed such dragons. In his boyhood, he had seen them coiled and resting. They looked as if they were covered with jewels of all sorts. Some of them had crests sparkling with all the colors of the rainbow. When disturbed, they glided swiftly, sparkling all over, to their hiding place. The earth dragon brings us face to face with our potential. Within us, we have a treasure house of riches. Our powers and capacities, which we can learn how to use. In the past, we may have been denied access by the guardian of this treasure, but now we are coming to understand that sometimes fierce guardian is in reality an aspect of ourselves. By coming to know and love, Drag Talma, we will be able to unlock the secrets of our hearts, and at the same time we will find ourselves discovering the beauty and the power that lie within the hearts of those around us and in the very earth itself. This card may be indicating that somehow you are relating in an inappropriate way to your inner reserves and potential. The Rag Talma guards the treasures of your soul fiercely, but he is your ally, not your enemy. Do not try to kill him, and do not try to wrest the treasure from him. You may need to spend time befriending this creature who has slumbered in your soul for so long. A precipitous attempt to capitalize on your talents or express your potential may be unwise. That's if it's drawn under. So I'm reading both upwards and downwards because I'm doing the reading for you guys. The tradition of the earth dragon. The dragon shall be in tumultuous, old, rich in treasures. Beowulf. At the foot of the great chalk figure in Alton White House in the Yorkshire lies Dragon Hill. It is said that St. George slew a dragon here, and to this day the ground is poisoned by the dragon's blood, which is why no grass grows on certain patches of the hilltop. Some have suggested that the stylized horse facing the hill is in fact a representation of the dragon. Whether it is or not, the fact remains that the dragon and the horse share the same association with earth energy and the power of the land. Although some legendary dragons are strongly linked only to one of the four elements, many of them happily partake in characteristics of all the elements, sleeping in water holes, curling their bodies in hills by day, and flying through the air or breathing flames whenever they wish. Quintessentially alchemical. They speak of energies and powers that exist both within ourselves and within the landscape around us. That landscape is constantly changing. And some scholars suggest that the Druids practiced their own version of geometric art known in China as Feng Shui, the natural science of creating harmony in the landscape involves the appreciation of the earth, currents, or dragon lines that crisscross the land, and in the art of knowing what physical features to add or alter to create the most harmonious atmosphere, one which is both esoterically pleasing and energetically beneficial. From this viewpoint, dragons become ley lines or energy currents, and taming the dragon becomes a metaphor for practicing geomancy, or for the dowser's technique of earth acupuncture, driving iron stakes into the ground to control or divert harmful earth currents. The Barrow Guardians. Wow, this is pretty long. In ancient times, the barrows and the harvest hills, stone circles, and single standing stones were raised with the sense of reverence for the land and with an awareness of inherent spiritual power. When a barrow was filled with valuable grave goods to accompany the dead warrior or chieftain, it is highly probable that the early Druids invoked spirit guardians to watch over the treasure, just as the Egyptian priests invoked spirit beings to guard the treasures of the royal tombs and terrifying potential desecrators. In time, these guardians have become known as monstrous dragons, who so jealously guard their hoards at the barrows as the dragons were in Oxfordshire, the old field barrows in Shirosphere, and the Drakelow barrows in Derbyshire, Worcestershire, and Drake Howe barrow in Yorkshire. There are even long barrels that is supposed to contain the bones of dragon killed and buried there. At Williamsgate, a corruption of Wormsgate in Lincolnshire. Buried treasure and the inner search. But treasure is not only found in barrels. Buried treasure within certain hills also has the benefit of the dragon guardian, such as Wormelo Trump in her Heresford, and Money Hill on Guntonfell in Northumberland. Under the Iron Age hill fort, Sisbury in Sussex, lies a hoard of gold, reached by the way of a 2-mile underground passage, but no one has ever succeeded in finding it because halfway along the tunnel 2 dragons stand guard. The belief is the treasure guarding dragons are stronger in Wales than in England. Although they tend to live in thick woods or on lonely hills rather than in burial mounds or earthworks, an interesting feature of the tales concerning earth dragons is that, unlike air, fire, and water dragons, they have minimal contact, if any, with human beings. No one tries to kill them, and they spend no time devastating countryside. Instead, they lie hidden and inactive, unless disturbed. Although portraying as having no trace of cruelty, like a slumbering volcano, they carry the potential of great danger should they ever awake. Each of us, perhaps such a dragon guarding our inner riches, concerned with that none should violate the splendor of the innermost self. The dragon can sometimes deny even our waking consciousness access to these reserves of power and potential. The earth dragon is found not only within the cave in the center of the barrel or hill, but also circled around it. A powerful symbol of the journey, or the self-discovery. The spiritual quest is the maze or spiral form, which can sometimes be detected in the ridges found on the sides of the certain hills, such as Glastonbury Tor, Bignor Hill in Sussex. In legend, the Linton Dragon, a spiral form of Wormington Hill, was created when the dragon, in its death, throws coiled itself around the hill and contracted, squeezed it into its present shape. There is a connection between the dragon that slumbers coiled around the hill or around the treasure in the cave of the heart, and the creature we discover at the center of a maze or spiral. Both are aspects of ourself. Both can see the guardians of the threshold to be respected and loved, but also changing and perhaps in certain senses overcome. Whether the maze is classical with several rings, such as 6th century carving found in Hollywood, Ireland, and Tintagel in Cornwall, or simply the triple spiral found at the far more ancient sites of Newgrange in Ireland or Annesbeck in Scotland, it is generally agreed that such symbols represent the journey of our soul in and out of incarnation. If we can face the dragon guardian of the treasure house of the soul and other world with sincerity and humility, it may well guide us through the labyrinth to the heart of the world. There is to find inspiration, courage to be reborn again in time and space. It's beautiful. So what does this mean? Some of you have fantastic gifts, and the guardian that surrounds your heart, whether it's through programming over the ages or while you're growing up, stop you from accessing those gifts. Make friend with that guardian and take down that programming to make friend with that guardian, so that you can open up the passage to get to your splendor and your gifts. Very cryptic and very simple. So it did mention that the dragon and the horse are connected. So I'm going to read the horse. If I can find horse. Horse. You're about to embark on an unexpected adventure and will have to move very quickly once it's initiated. It is time to free yourself from those physical and emotional constricting aspects of your life. You need to call upon reserves of stamina and strength to get through this ordeal. You're much more powerful than you think you are. The situation requires strong warrior energy balanced with the sensitivity and patience and compassion. Teamwork with your family, friends, or community is important right now. You're very well protected from any negative or harsh psychic attacks. You're being called to investigate other spiritual realms and dimensions through meditation, a vision quest, or shamanic journeying. Let go of any shame or guilt that is a result of childhood conditioning. I love it when a plan comes together. Next, we'll pull a power animal. What power animal for this week do we walk with? Two. So first there was the salmon, determination. You know you'll get where you're going. You know where you're going and you'll get there. Second one, the turtle, retreat. Stop trying to make something happen. So there are two power animals walking with us today, this week. So we know where we're going and we will get there, but stop trying to make it happen. Just allow yourself to see the salmon swims upstream, right? So it goes against the current. But having said that, the salmon is very smart. Okay, have you ever gone salmon fishing? If you go salmon fishing, what'll happen is if you have a fish online and he's swimming up the stream, he'll stop. He'll stop to conserve energy so that he can go faster. And that's something that the retreat comes into, right? So it knows that you know where you're going, you know what you want, but don't make it happen. Allow it to unfold in divine time. First we'll read salmon. Wow, right away. Sometimes it's easier to just give up in the face of adversity, especially when the struggles you face feeling overwhelming and insurmountable. Yet these trials and tribulations are all part of your spiritual path and are necessary to make you stronger and more capable at dealing with life's unpredictability. The ordeal you're faced with now is not necessarily a light one, and to succeed it will take clear intention, a commitment to purpose, and a willingness to stay with it until you've reached a calmer part of the river. Even if you're not sure of your purpose or why you are faced with these challenges, follow your path in absolute faith. And the reasons will reveal themselves within the process of your journey. Sometimes your actual goal isn't apparent, even when the direction you must go is. You must trust that the direction is being inspired by the deepest sense of your innate knowing. Align your intention with Spirit's intent and let nothing stop you from moving ahead. So we know what we want, and I've talked on other videos about how to manifest, and what I said was you envision what you want. emotions behind what you want, and then you release it into the universe, so to speak. And invariably it comes to you. So we know this, right? But it's everything in divine timing, right? So if you're trying to make something happen, that's the step that you take. Okay? And you continue to do that relentlessly with faith. Okay? But again, it's divine timing. So this turtle card comes up where it says retreat. So there's advancements and retreats that need to be made here. One card, it's kind of like a paradox, a polarity, which is I find hilarious. One card says determination and go. The one says retreat. Interesting, isn't it? Let's see what the turtle says here. Turtle, retreat. Stop trying to make something happen. There's not a whole lot you can do right now to influence the situation you're inquiring about. It's best to back off and wait until it's time to move forward again. There's nothing wrong with that, especially given the futility of trying to make something happen right now. Patience is what is called. Eventually, you can stick your neck out a little to determine if it's time to come out and make some progress toward your goal. A retreat isn't a defeat. Make it a conscious and intentional choice instead. You could stand to spend some time by yourself in nature, away from the intensity of your usual life. Although we can call this a retreat, it's really more of a movement toward peace and harmony. You'll find in the woods, at the mountains, or by the seashore. Doing so also helps you connect with Mother Earth. And when you do, it helps put everything into proper perspective. The ocean's been there a long, long time and will continue to be. And every day there's a sunset, no matter what else happens. The additional association is femininity, slowness, toughness, and fertility. I'm going back to salmon for a minute here. So the additional association for salmon is purpose, sacrifice, regeneration, and endurance. Now, while that message of moving forward and knowing when to retreat, I believe that this is a message of wisdom. This is a message of wisdom, of knowing when to go, when to put your stock in everything and go for your goal, and also when to retreat and to say, you know what, I'm giving it all I can right now. Tomorrow's another day. So you retreat, and then when tomorrow comes, you go and swim up the stream again, right? So I think that is the wisdom behind these two cards today. And let's actually read the further interpretation of the power animals. So salmon. In spite of any challenges or discouragement, persevere towards your goal. This is salmon, and you'll reach it. It's critical that you trust your gut feelings and inner knowing at this time, and avoid influence of anyone who may have hidden agendas. You may have experienced some sort of loss, such as a relationship or through a move, and yet this will precede a new beginning. Through some sacrifice you're willing to make, you'll experience a rebirth into a new you. This signifies a time of plenty, where you'll have more than enough for yourself and to share with others. Turtle. Turtle, ocean turtle, because this is what this is. It's an ocean turtle. Let me see here. You've been going much too fast for far too long, so slow down and pace yourself. This is a time to be more self-reliant and less dependent on others. Take time to nurture yourself and simply observe and feel your emotions. This is a period of increased sensitivity to the Earth's vibrations and those of the collective human consciousness, which you'll first feel as sensations in your body prior to the result into emotions. Spend a few hours or longer in solitude, away from other people and in the usual noise that surrounds you. This is a creative, fertile time, and you need to shield yourself from the interferences that threaten to distract you. And there's Turtle. So, let's move on to our Dragon Guide card. I love this thing. There are two that are watching this, and the same reading may have multiple meanings for those two. So take what you can from it. Because it's a broadcast, it's kind of difficult to be more specific to who I'm reading for. Right? But take what you can from this. Dragon Path card is Grace. Beautiful dragon, beautiful purple. Grace, which is number 16. We'll look at 16 in a minute. Grace. You are more than you possibly can imagine. This dragon flies into our lives when we have been or are struggling with self-worth, self-respect, self-love issues, or when we have been neglecting ourselves. It is time to look at ourselves and discover who we truly are. We are magnificent human beings. Find ways to let go of our self-imposed limitations and self-limiting beliefs. Grace's words are simple. Stop it now. You are more than you can possibly imagine. You can achieve so much more than you foresee. Believe in yourself. Push the boundaries of your self-imposed limits. If you don't try, you will never know how successful you can be. And if you perceive that you have failed, remember, there is no such thing as failure, only an experience to learn from. Try again. Try again. Dragons have an issue with the word love because they continually misuse it. So they have opted instead for grace, which they tell me is a more encompassing and authentic, which is more encompassing and authentic. Grace is a deep acceptance of all that is within and without us. It means the end of struggle through embracing the whole of us as we truly are. And as I finish reading that, what comes to mind is we are one. We are all one. So let's embrace the whole of us. And when we are in a situation, a present situation, which threatens to divide us, let's remember we are all one. And honor it with grace. Now, this is number 16. So I'm going to pull up 16 here. You're being invited to upgrade your choices and move towards experiences that support your joy and purpose. Let go and move forward. Pretty self-explanatory. Now we'll do the famous max angel number for this week. Through 536. Your angels are reminding you that opportunity is based on your willingness to share, to be seen, and to recognize your gifts. And if that doesn't tie this reading all together, I don't know what is. Number 536. 536. I don't know if you can read backwards because for some reason the mirror's not on my phone. At any rate, guys, that's it for me. If you want an individual reading, don't hesitate to contact us. You can reach my scheduler, Lucia, at 289-260-3383. She'll schedule something, and we'll get this up. We'll get this going for you. All right, guys. It's Max from Foot and Soul Temple Spa and Reiki Master 13. I wish you a great weekend. God bless. Lots of love and light and peace. Take care.